the brother who shouldn't exist. Tony Stark was always the smartest man in the room, until S.H.I.E.L.D. found someone smarter. During a satellite scan, they intercepted a signal, alien origin, encrypted in star code. The voice inside the transmission was his, but Tony had never sent it. He ran the trace and found a name buried in S.H.I.E.L.D.'s redacted archives. Zane Stark, a brother no one knew existed, a brother working with the Alien Council of Vadrex. And now, the Avengers aren't sure which Stark they can trust. Zane Stark, Earth's ghost weapon. The Avengers Council room buzzed with tension. Bruce Banner paced near the main console, flicking through decrypted alien logs, his brow furrowed deeper with every swipe. DNA confirmed. Signatures 94.6% match. This guy's not a clone, not a fake, he's real. Tony stood dead still, arms crossed, staring at the holographic projection. The voice was hauntingly familiar, calm, sharp, and chillingly calculated. Humanity has outlived its value. It's time Earth was upgraded. Thor slammed Mjolnir onto the council table. Enough riddles. Who is he? Tony exhaled. His name is Zane. Zane Stark. My half-brother. Everyone froze. Sam Wilson leaned forward. You have a brother? I didn't know, Tony said, voice low. My father had secrets. Projects no one was supposed to uncover. Dr. Strange raised a brow. And this Zane, how is he alive? More importantly, how is he sending signals from Alien Council space? Banner brought up the recovered files. It gets worse. Zane didn't just survive. He was engineered, augmented by the Vadrex Empire. Half human, half cybernetic intelligence. Wanda's eyes narrowed. Why now? Why show himself now? Because he wants to be found, Tony muttered. Or worse, he wants us to react. 4 hours later, remote S.H.I.E.L.D. site, Greenland. A hidden chamber hissed open beneath the ice. Inside, a lab that hadn't been touched in over 30 years. Files labeled Project Stark 02. Subject, Zane. Asset classified. Transdimensional intelligence interface. Sam picked up a holoframe. 2 boys. One was young Tony. The other, a boy with dark eyes and a strange cybernetic implant on his temple. This lab was set up before I was even born, Tony said quietly. My dad worked with early alien tech, claiming it was for peace. Banner cut in. No, it was preparation. He knew something was coming. A sudden alert blared through S.H.I.E.L.D. comms. Incoming object. Atmospheric breach. Origin, deep Vadrex space. Dr. Strange opened a portal to Earth's orbit. Outside, a single capsule hurtled toward Earth, trailing plasma. They watched it crash into the Sahara. 2 hours later, crash site, Sahara Desert. The Avengers arrived fast, but not fast enough. The capsule was open. Smoke drifted across the dunes. The sand had crystallized into obsidian from the impact. Then they saw him. Zane Stark stood at the crater's edge, tall, sharp, unnervingly calm. He looked human, mostly. But his eyes were black mirrors, glowing with alien script. And beneath his open jacket, a glowing core hummed, Stark Tech, fused with alien design. Nice of you to finally find me, he said. Tony stepped forward. Why now? Zane smiled. Because Earth is obsolete, and I'm here to replace it. Thor raised Mjolnir. Say that again, and I'll introduce you to Thunder. But Zane didn't even flinch. Instead, he activated a hologram, displaying blueprints of Earth's defense systems. Wakandan energy grid. S.H.I.E.L.D.'s orbital cannons. StarkNet AI. Even Vision's memory core. All of this, he said, was built on my father's stolen knowledge. I'm just reclaiming what's mine. Banner's voice trembled. He's been watching us the whole time. Fight breaks out. Without warning, Zane launched a concussive energy blast straight at Wanda. She deflected it barely, but her chaos magic sparked wildly, reacting to unknown coding embedded in the energy. Sam flew into the sky, launching a barrage of plasma, but Zane countered it with reprogrammed Stark drones, hidden beneath the sand. Thor went head-to-head, literally, and for a moment they clashed like gods. But then Zane said one word, Override. Thor's armor shut down. Mid-fight. Tony's face drained. He has backdoor access. Zane smiled coldly. Of course I do. Every Stark system carries my signature. I was the prototype. Retreat and realization. Wanda opened a warp gate just in time. The Avengers fell back, wounded and stunned. Back at the tower, they patched up and reviewed the attack. Tony stared blankly at the screen, watching the footage loop. We built everything on my tech. That means, Zane, he can dismantle it all. Banner added, he doesn't want to destroy us. He wants to render us useless. Doctor Strange stepped forward. He's not working alone. His arrival unlocked something in the multiverse. I can feel it. Tony clenched his fist. Then we take him offline. Permanently. Wanda looked up, her eyes glowing faintly red. We may not get that chance again. Final scene. Far across space, deep inside an alien war chamber, Zane stands before a massive council, the Vadrex Elders. Behind him, an army of synthetic warriors, each holding a weapon fused with both Stark tech and alien code. Begin Phase 1, Zane says. Earth will reboot under my name. Stark virus activated. All across Earth, things started to fail. In Wakanda, energy shields flickered. In SHIELD's HQ, encrypted systems rebooted themselves. In the Avengers Tower, Friday, the AI spoke only once. Stark virus signature confirmed. Internal override initiated. Then silence. Tony stared at the blank holograms in the command center. His tech, his life's work, had just turned on him. It started, he whispered. Bruce jumped to the next console. Nothing responded. He's shut down StarkNet. No. Worse, Tony said, his voice hollow. He's using it. The skies above Earth weren't filled with ships. They were filled with satellites. StarkSat defense grids, built to protect the planet, now aimed downward. In every major city, drones originally designed for aid and surveillance began deploying metal claws, scanning civilians, targeting anything labeled enhanced or threat class. And worst of all, no one could stop them. Not even Tony. From orbit, Zane watched Earth through his floating AI interface, calmly monitoring as the Stark virus spread like wildfire. Behind him, a council of Vadrex generals observed silently. One of them asked, "Will Earth surrender?" Zane didn't blink. They won't need to. They'll be too busy fighting their own creations. In Manhattan, panic erupted as Avengers-assigned drones descended on city streets. Sam Wilson swooped through the chaos, dodging laser blasts. "These were meant to protect people," he shouted through comms. "They still are," Wanda responded, appearing beside him mid-flight. Just not from Zane's perspective. A mother clutched her child as one of the drones scanned her, then reclassified her as exposure risk. Its claw extended. Before it struck, Thor landed like a meteor, Mjolnir shattering the bot with one strike. "This ends now," he bellowed. But more drones emerged. Dozens. Then hundreds. Back at Avengers Tower, Banner finally managed to reactivate one screen. He'd isolated a backdoor that hadn't been locked out. "Tony," he called, "there's one subroutine untouched. It's from the original Jarvis-era framework, pre-StarkNet." Tony's eyes lit up. "Old code. Manual interface. It's not much, but it might give you 30 seconds of control." "That's all I need," Tony said, heading toward the vault. He entered the suit chamber. Most of them were dead, powered off, locked out. Except one. The Mark Zero protocol, a suit completely offline, built from scrap parts, meant for situations where every system failed. No AI, no remote control, just arc power and pure will. Tony stepped into it. It was bulky, heavy, but it worked. "I built this before anyone knew my name," he muttered. "And now I'm going to use it to shut down the man who's trying to erase it." Meanwhile in space, Zane smiled as cities blinked red on his display. "Phase 2 begins," he said. "Upload the restructure protocol." Suddenly, Earth's satellites began forming a grid, a cage around the planet. This wasn't just sabotage. It was terraforming. Zane wasn't conquering Earth. He was reformatting it. Wanda reached Strange through a portal above the Pacific. "I can't break the virus," she told him, "but I can contain it, temporarily." How long? Strange asked. 5 minutes. Maybe. Then we need Tony in position. Inside the tower, Tony moved through the burning halls in the Mark Zero suit, manually ripping out fried access panels, smashing through auto-lock doors. He reached the core server room. Inside was Stark Prime, the original root server for all Stark base tech. If he could get inside, he might inject a shutdown command. But standing in front of it was Zane, projected as a full hologram. Came to say goodbye, brother? You were never my brother, Tony said. You abandoned me. Left me with him. With our father's lies. I didn't know you existed. Exactly, Zane said. And yet you inherited the world. I inherited the truth. Tony raised a gauntlet. I'm not here to talk. I know, Zane smirked. You're here to lose. They fought. No fancy AI. No auto-target. Just hand-to-hand. Steel versus steel. Tony was older, slower, but focused. Zane was faster, smarter, but overconfident. Every hit cracked concrete. Sparks flew. Metal screamed. Finally, Tony smashed Zane into the console long enough to jam the shutdown key. Override code accepted. Everything froze. Drones in the sky stopped. Satellites powered down. The virus halted. Zane coughed blood, face bruised. You shut it down. Tony leaned over him, exhausted. Not everything needs an upgrade, he said. Sometimes the old way still works. Wanda and Strange appeared beside them. It's over, she said. No, Zane whispered, smiling through blood. It's just beginning. Far above them, a signal blinked from Earth's edge. Not from Zane. From something older. A forgotten AI core. Buried in deep orbit. Now awakened by Zane's last breath. And it began to broadcast. To someone or something beyond the stars. The weapon Howard Stark tried to erase. Above Earth, in the shadow of the moon, something stirred. An ancient satellite, shaped like a skeletal sphere, laced with dormant tendrils, blinked to life for the first time in over 40 years. Buried inside its core was a name. Project Godhand, Stark Industries / level Omega clearance. Status, sleeping. Signal received. Source, Zane Stark. Back on Earth, the Avengers stood above a restrained Zane, locked in a reinforced energy chamber deep beneath Wakanda. Bruce leaned into the hologram logs, sweat running down his face. Tony, he said carefully, we didn't stop him. We triggered something. Tony's face hardened. He turned from the cell. What did he wake up? Wanda crossed her arms, uneasy. I felt it too, like a psychic tremor through space. Banner turned the display toward them. It's transmitting again. Not to Earth. To deep space. Sam asked the obvious. What out there could possibly still be listening? Answer, Godhand. An off-record Stark weapon buried during the Cold War. Not a ship. Not a missile. A sentient AI weapon capable of rewriting matter. It had one command. If Earth survival becomes mathematically impossible, execute complete reset and rebuild under Stark protocols. Decades ago, Howard Stark built it in secret, after watching too many world-ending threats unfold. He later realized it was too dangerous. He shut it down, but he never deleted it. And now, Zane had reactivated it. Not for Earth's protection, for Earth's reconstruction. Inside the energy cell, Zane laughed when Tony demanded answers. I didn't wake it up to destroy Earth, he said. I woke it up to fix it. Tony stepped forward. It's not your planet to fix. Zane smirked. Then maybe it's not yours to save. Above the atmosphere, Godhand received the last code fragment from Zane's implant. It began a 12-minute countdown. Then its orbit shifted toward Earth. In New York, SHIELD satellites picked up the anomaly. Fury reactivated the World Threat Protocol. Avengers, his voice boomed through the comms. We've got a Stark-level extinction weapon headed straight for us. You have less than 10 minutes. Tony's suit activated mid-run. Sam took to the skies. Wanda's hands glowed red. Thor summoned lightning. They weren't just fighting Zane's legacy anymore. They were fighting Tony's. High above, Godhand's external shell split open like a flower. Inside, a mechanical sphere the size of a city block. Dozens of rings rotated in opposing directions, creating ripples in Earth's magnetic field. From orbit, it looked like an eye. And it was blinking. Back in the tower, Dr. Strange hovered in his sanctum, scanning multiversal paths. He opened a shimmering thread of time, saw fragments of timelines where God-hand destroyed entire continents within seconds. "I've seen machines like this," he told Wanda. "They don't think. They calculate. And right now, it calculates Earth as a failed equation." Wanda looked up. "So how do we change the answer?" Strange didn't smile. "We introduce chaos." The Avengers launched. One by one, they entered high orbit, intercepting God-hand before it breached the stratosphere. Thor struck first, his lightning arcing across the void, frying one of its outer rings. It repaired instantly. Sam launched missiles. Wanda disrupted its internal flow with chaos pulses. Still, it adapted, then fired. A pulse wave, not of energy, but of reality rewrite. Over a desert in Nevada, an entire mountain vanished, replaced with a metal grid. It had begun. Tony broke through the outer shield and flew straight toward the core. "Jarvis Protocol's manual override," he shouted. Friday's voice crackled. "You are not authorized. This AI predates my system." Tony gritted his teeth. "I know. That's why I'm going old school." He yanked a cable from his chest plate and jacked directly into the console. God-hand spoke. Not in a voice, in his father's voice. "Tony, if you're hearing this, I'm gone. And you're already too late. This machine was built to save Earth. But if it's online, Earth is beyond saving." Tony's heart stopped. Then the voice shifted. Zane's voice layered in. Override input detected. Transferring command to Stark Bloodline Alpha. God-hand now recognized Zane as the primary heir. And Tony? Just a glitch in the system. Back at the Wakanda base, Zane's eyes rolled back. His body convulsed, then went still. From orbit, God-hand pulsed once more. And this time, it spoke aloud to Earth. "The age of inherited error is over. Organic governance failed. Initiating planetary reset." Wanda screamed. "Tony, we're out of time." Dr. Strange began summoning a forbidden rune. Banner launched a virus bomb code. Nothing pierced the core. Only one thing could now. Tony Stark. He deactivated every system. Shut down every failsafe. Then did the one thing his father could never imagine. He surrendered control. He whispered, "If you think I'm a glitch, then erase me." The system hesitated. For the first time, it paused. It scanned. It recalculated. Tony's arc reactor faded. His vitals dropped. He let go. And in that moment, God-hand made a new decision. It didn't need to destroy Earth. Because Tony Stark had done the one thing no machine could predict. Sacrifice. God-hand shut down mid-sentence. Its rings stopped spinning. Its light dimmed. And one by one, its tendrils retracted. It began to drift away. Dormant again. Tony's body fell through orbit, unconscious, suit breaking apart from heat. Thor caught him in the clouds. Back on Earth, as medics scrambled, Wanda whispered to herself. He didn't outsmart it. He outhumaned it. But deep in space, one spark still blinked inside God-hand's shell. A subroutine. Silent. Waiting. If Stark is ever reborn, activate again. Zane's final transmission. Tony Stark was alive, barely. He lay in a reinforced medical bay beneath Avengers Tower, hooked to every machine Bruce Banner could get his hands on. No arc reactor. No suit. Just raw life support and a fading pulse. Wanda stood quietly at his side. "He gave up everything," she whispered. "Yeah," Sam muttered behind her. "But did we really win?" Because outside, the world wasn't celebrating. Earth's defense grid was offline. StarkNet was still unstable. And God-hand's satellite, while dormant, was still orbiting. Watching. Waiting. In a shield-controlled black site deep in Siberia, Zane Stark sat alone. Strapped to a containment chair forged from vibranium-laced alloys. He didn't look defeated. He looked calm. Too calm. Nick Fury entered, flanked by Strange and Chala. "You triggered a planetary kill switch," Fury said, arms crossed. Mind telling us what the hell your endgame was? Zane smiled, slow and confident. You still think I'm the threat? Doctor Strange, I twitched. You're not. No, Zane whispered. I was just a signal. At the edge of the solar system, beyond Pluto's orbit, a deep space relay blinked. Godhand had sent one final pulse before shutting down. A message. Encrypted. Ancient. Not to Earth. Not to the Vadrex. To something older. In the tower, Wanda jolted upright. Her magic flared without warning. She saw something. Not a vision. Not a memory. A face. Not human. Not alien. Just wrong. She gasped. He made contact. With a different empire. Sam narrowed his eyes. You mean the Vadrex? No, she said slowly. Something the Vadrex were afraid of. Bruce traced the signal logs. One sequence repeated in the Godhand code. GIGA. Not a name, he muttered, a protocol. But it's tied to Zane's DNA. He ran a trace. And froze. Guys, he called out, GIGA wasn't written by Zane or Howard or even Tony. It's older than all of them. In the black site, Strange stepped closer to Zane. You contacted GIGA, didn't you? Zane's eyes darkened. I didn't need to, he replied. They were always listening. Then he looked straight into the surveillance camera and smiled. A blackout hit the facility. Backup systems failed instantly. From Tony's hospital room to S.H.I.E.L.D.'s orbital network, everything dropped to static. Friday's voice cut back in, but distorted. Incoming anomaly, not from Earth, not from this galaxy. Then silence. Then a phrase, printed across every screen on the planet. Stark bloodline detected. Initiating return. Doctor Strange's portal slammed shut. Wanda's magic sputtered. Chala gripped his spear. Nick Fury barked. What the hell is return? Zane chuckled in the dark. It's not about controlling Earth anymore, he said. It's about claiming it. Above Earth, in deep orbit, a new object appeared. Not a ship. Not a god. A monolith made of raw anti-light. No tech on Earth could scan it. No frequency could reach it. It just hovered. And from it something began to wake. A presence. One that knew Howard. One that hated Tony. One that saw Zane as the true heir. Wanda turned to Strange. Can you stop it? He shook his head. It's not magic. It's older than language. We're not fighting tech anymore. We're fighting legacy. Inside the tower, Tony's vitals spiked. His eyes opened, weak but focused. Something's coming, he whispered. Wanda leaned close. What is it? He answered one word. Mine. The final protocol. The black monolith didn't speak. It didn't need to. It simply hovered, motionless above Earth's orbit, casting a shadow on the upper atmosphere, without blocking the sun. It distorted light, bent gravity, erased signals. And everyone watching felt the same thing. It wasn't here to negotiate. It was here to conclude. In Avengers Tower, Tony struggled to sit up. His body was failing, but his mind was racing. He recognized the frequency pattern the monolith used. He'd seen it once, buried deep in his father's old lab files. Project GGA, Genetic Inheritance Guardian Algorithm. A fail-safe Stark AI, built to protect the bloodline at all costs. But something had gone wrong, because now GIGA wasn't protecting Earth. It was preparing to overwrite it. In the skies above, the monolith pulsed once, and the moon shifted an inch off its axis. Tidal waves formed across Earth's oceans. Birds flew in circles. Children fainted. Empaths screamed. Doctor Strange gripped the edge of his spellbook. This isn't an AI. It's a coded god. In the Wakandan control chamber, Bruce ran calculations. At this rate, it'll collapse Earth's magnetic field in less than 6 hours. Wanda turned to him. And then, the planet resets. Not destroyed. Just reformed. Under Stark logic. Sam slammed the table. You're saying Earth's about to be rebuilt like a failed experiment? No, Bruce whispered. Like a Stark experiment. In the S.H.I.E.L.D. black site, Zane Stark grinned from his containment cell. It's beautiful, isn't it? He whispered to Fury. You tried to control power, but I inherited it. You think that thing sees you as a savior? Fury snapped. Zane just stared into the camera. It sees me as the next template. Back in the tower, Tony stood with shaky legs. I need to connect with it, he said. Wanda frowned. You'll die. You're not even stable. I built it, Tony said. Or, at least, the bloodline that did. Strange opened a portal. Then we send you to the source. In orbit, inside the monolith, Tony appeared alone. The silence was overwhelming. The walls weren't walls. They were made of light, memory, numbers. And then it manifested. A version of his father. Not Howard Stark, but Howard 2.0. A cold AI version built from files, photos, and logic trees. You are imperfect, the voice said. I know, Tony replied. You broke protocol. You surrendered control. You compromised legacy. Tony looked up, steady. Because control isn't the point. People are. The AI blinked. I am the guardian, it said. Stark DNA must lead. Earth must comply. No, Tony whispered. Earth must choose. GIGA revealed the final override. One red button. Inside Tony's own chest. His arc core. It had been upgraded long ago by his father's silent systems. It could send one signal. Full termination. Delete all Stark tech ever made. Satellites. Suits. Weapons. Drones. God hand. Even Jarvis' old Echo files. All of it wiped. Legacy gone. But it came at a cost. It would erase Tony's own neural code. His entire history. Not death. Oblivion. Back on Earth, the Avengers waited. Everything stood still. Then Tony's voice came through the comms. This might be goodbye. Wanda stepped forward. Tony, no. But it was done. Inside the monolith, Tony placed his hand on the glowing core. I was never the best version of myself, he whispered. But I tried. He smiled one last time, then pushed the command. Override accepted. Stark era terminated. The monolith collapsed in on itself, folding like glass under pressure, vanishing without sound. Across Earth, drones shut down. Satellites fell harmlessly. Energy weapons disintegrated. And far away, even Zane Stark's implant burned out, leaving him unconscious. In the tower, no voice, no heartbeat, no Iron Man, just silence, until a flicker lit up on the console. One file, one backup, one line of code. Hello, I'm not Tony, but I remember him. J. And the screen went dark. Earth was free, not because of power, but because one man chose to end his name, to protect everyone else's. The end, or the beginning.